we are tasked to report the Romantic period. Under the Romantic period, we choose a famous poem by Edgar Allan Poe, and the poem is entitled A Dream Within a Dream.
But before we find out what is the story behind the poem entitled A Dream Within a Dream, let us first find out who is its author, and it is none other than Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe was an American writer, poet, critic, and editor best known for evocative short stories and poems that captured the imagination and interest of the readers around the world. His imaginative storytelling and tales of mystery and horror gave birth to the modern detective story.
What is the title of the poem? The title of the poem is entitled A Dream Within a Dream. What does the title mean? A Dream Within a Dream explores the significance and reality of life. The speaker watches as the things that are important to him are taken away, and struggles to hold on to them, realizing that no matter how hard he tries to hold on, he lacks control and questions if life is just a dream within a dream.
What do you think the poem means? A man on the shore of the ocean contemplating life. Who is the subject of the poem? Edgar Allan Poe wrote A Dream Within a Dream near the end of his life, revealing the thoughts of the speaker who is trying to come to terms with understanding their own life. Why do you think the author wrote the poem? After suffering great losses and turning to alcohol, this poem mirrors the isolation and hopelessness he experienced. What is the poet's attitude? The mood of the poem shifts. In the first stanza, the mood is accepting, but in the second stanza, the mood is despairing.
Poet's tools. What are the figurative languages, poetic devices used in the poem? Enumerate then write the specific lines that contain figurative languages. This poem has employed 4 types of figurative language, which are: first, hyperbole. We discussed the hyperbole last meeting. So hyperbole is an exaggeration used to express strong emotion. In the poem, like, "Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave?" Second, personification. Personification is when a writer gives human qualities to animal or object. Like in the poem Within a Dream of the surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sun. Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave of a surf-tormented shore? Third, metaphor. Metaphor is a comparison of two unlike things without using the words like or as. Like in the poem Within a Dream, grains of the golden sun. Last is paradox. Paradox is a statement that seems to be impossible. Like in the poem Within a Dream, all that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream.
Next is theme. Identify the theme or central idea of the poem. How does the theme convey the poem's message? First is representation of life. In this poem, the poet claims that our life is nothing more than just a dream within a dream. He compasses life with a dream because he knows that just like a dream, everything in life is also temporary. Life goes on with great speed and no one can stop or grasp anything in it forever. The poet shows deep feelings of love for his beloved, but then he says goodbye to her, and the next moment, he finds himself standing alone on a tormented shore. Later, he thinks that their love and their union were just a dream. second is doubt and uncertainty. In the entire poem, the speaker appears to be in a state of doubt and uncertainty. He is not even sure about the reality of his life, and he considers everything just a dream within a dream. He is confused about the days that he has spent, and he tells his beloved that she was right about him, that his days were just a dream. Now, it is not clear whether the days that he has spent with her were not real and he was just watching a dream, or maybe the days were so beautiful that they compared them with a dream and fantasy. At the end of the poem, the speaker is still in doubt and is in doubt about the reality of his life and existence. He ends the poem by leaving a question whether his life or whatever he sees is just a dream within a dream or not.
Third is love and departure. At the beginning of the poem, the poet says goodbye to someone, implied to be his beloved. He asks her to receive a kiss on her forehead as he is leaving. It shows that they love each other and are sad at his departure. In the next lines, the speaker shows hopelessness, maybe because he is going away from his love. Fourth, reality versus illusion. From the beginning of this poem until the end, the speaker is found in doubt and uncertainty. He is confused about the reality of his existence and life. He doesn't know that the days that he spent with his beloved were real or just his illusion. Twice in the poem, he mentions that everything that seems and that he sees in his life is not just a dream, but a dream within a dream. In the second stanza, the speaker tries to find out and confirm the reality of his world by grasping the grains of the sand in his hand. The sand continuously slips, passes through his fingers, and falls down. He becomes more hopeless, and in his helplessness to control the sand, he starts crying. Maybe he weeps seeing the reality of his life slipping away from his hand just like the grains of the sand. Next, let's move on to the historical and cultural context. Explain how the author's history and culture have influenced the poem. Romanticism. Edgar Allan Poe lived and wrote during the first half of the 19th century, when Romanticism dominated the literary landscape of Europe and the United States. Admittedly, there is no neat way to encapsulate the complex diversity of Romanticism as it developed in the different times and places. However, it is possible to describe a broad trends that characterize the Romantic era and which influence Poe's imaginative and critical writing. For one thing, Romantic writers generally privilege intuition over rationality. They also emphasize the expression of emotion over the communication of deductive messages. As evidenced by critical ratings, Poe strongly believed in both principles. His primary goal in his imaginative writing was to produce a unified aesthetic effect that elicited an emotional response from the reader. Poe also often explored strange subject matter, which echoes a Romantic era fascination with all things unusual and even bizarre. A Dream Within a Dream reflects many of these formal and thematic preoccupations. In this poem, Poe carefully manipulates method, rhyme, and structure to create a subtitle echo of the speaker's growing emotional instability. Poe also delved into strange territory, disorienting speaker and reader alike by challenging the conventional understanding of what's real.
Now let's proceed to summary of the poem. The poem starts when the narrator is leaving their assumed lover in the middle of a scene. Although it is understood that the moment has come, it is unknown why he must depart. They kiss them and then pick up where they left off in their chat before the poetry began. He says, perhaps acknowledging that his days have been a dream. You are not wrong. He justifies his continued acceptance of this new insight by arguing that since he is already without hope, nothing could possibly become worse. He is at the bottom, and it appears that only upward movement is possible. The speaker refers to this as a positive, yet the admittance of hopelessness suggests a deeper sadness. The speaker finds solace in the fact that he is not alone in this, though. There is an ease in the air when the second verse abruptly switches to a tone of despondence. The speaker who is at the seashore speaks of the powerful roar of the tormented shore. The speaker continues to feel uneasy as they struggle to hang on to sand grains and wonders why it is so difficult for them to do so. He cries out to God twice in quick succession, maybe asking for salvation to assist him. This time, in an attempt to accept the thought that existence is a dream, he wonders, is all we see or seem but a dream within a dream? This is his final plea for assistance. Now let's move on to the reflection of the poem A Dream Within a Dream.
A Dream Within a Dream is a thought-provoking poem that explores the fleeting nature of life and how difficult it is to hold onto things we cherished. The speaker in the poem is grappling with the idea that everything he holds there, including his loved ones, is slipping away. He questions whether anything in life is real or if it is all just a dream. The poem's title itself is intriguing as it suggests that the speaker is experiencing a dream within a dream. This idea of multiple layers of reality adds to the poem's complexity and makes it all the more fascinating to read. The speaker is struggling to distinguish between what is real and what is not, and this struggle is reflected in the poem's imagery and language. The use of vivid imagery, such as the sun slipping through the speaker's fingers and the waves washing away his footprints, create a sense of urgency and desperation. The imagery is powerful and evocative, and it captures the speaker's fear of losing everything he holds dear.
The poem's overall tone is melancholic, and it leaves the reader with a sense of sadness and longing. The speaker's final question, is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream, is haunting and thought-provoking. It is a reminder that life is fleeting and we must cherish the moments we have with our loved ones. In conclusion, A Dream Within a Dream is a beautifully crafted poem that explores the transience of life and the struggle to hold on the things we cherish. Use of vivid imagery and powerful language creates a sense of urgency and desperation that is both haunting and thought-provoking. The poem's message is a reminder to cherish the moments we have with our loved ones and to appreciate the fleeting nature of life.
That's conclude our report. I am Rhea Kilungan Dolormente.
And I am Joanna Richel de Jesus, and we reported Romantic Period. We are the Bachelor of Physical Education 4.